Hello everyone and welcome to the first of a set of series on iRacing.com, and this first video is going to be an intro to the setup and system settings for iRacing.com, just to get your feet wet, and maybe for those who are putting a rig together, seeing what type of options that I went with for a mid-range setup. So this video is recorded with NVIDIA's ShadowPlay, and this is the first time it's going to be uploaded to YouTube using this system. So we'll be in learning mode. Hopefully it works out spot on, but we'll see. But first thing I want to do is go over the rig itself before we get into the iRacing interface. So first thing, we'll go into look at the system itself. So just got this GPU. It's a GeForce GTX 970. It is high-end, but it is using just a single processor without having to use the SLI. I like that. It saves space in the rig itself and a little less worry about cooling. I do run an AMD 2 quad-core processor, and I'm also running 2 strips of DDR3 2 gig memory, so for a total of 4 gigs. The resolution running 1080 at 60 hertz, and I'll run that exact same in iRacing itself, and then using Microsoft Windows 7 Pro. If we go to the wheel itself, so what I'm running is a Fanatec CSR wheel. I went with this one because it's a solid mid-range wheel that you can customize. I don't have any plans to customize it, but it's German made and it's durable. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel plasticky. It doesn't feel like it's going to break. And when you're in endurance races, you want a wheel that you know that you can depend on, that's going to last for several hours. As far as pedals, I went with these CSR Pro pedals, and the reason I did that, you'll see some movement here on the screen, both the throttle and the clutch have adjustable springs so that you can adjust the tension, and that's going to be important for throttle, because the throttle tension and the feel to the throttle is going to be very important to vehicle control in the mid corners, and we'll discuss that later. The clutch also has a very good feel to it, very realistic, but the biggest realistic feel is the brake. The brake has an adjustable spring tension to it, but it also has adjustable potentiometer sensitivity. So I have mine set to the 10 setting, but if you press the brake, the tension builds up very similar to actual brake and rotor system. And that's really key, because a lot of your braking that you're going to do is also going to be based off of resistance, and you'll get a kind of a muscle memory of what that resistance is to keep your wheels and your tires at maximum threshold braking. But these are all topics that we're going to talk about later on. But I do recommend having a braking system that does have a build-up type of feedback to it. Some folks have put like plastic balls or just like stress balls or tennis balls behind their brake pedal. I think it's worth putting the money down to get a brake system that's going to have that type of feedback built into it. With the rig, I'm also running the 7-place gearbox shifter. So as you can see here to the right side, that's reverse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So those vehicles that do utilize the 8 shifter, it's brilliant. You can place it, if you get the mounting kit that comes with the CSR wheel, you can push it on either the left or the right side. Mine's on the right because I'm used to left-handed drive vehicles. But also with the CSR wheel is the mounted paddle shifters that are there as well, very much like in the Italia 458, where it will move with the wheel itself, and that's going to be I feel comfortable with that because it's sometimes you do have to do downshifting and upshifting while doing maneuvers, although it's not recommended. We'll get to that further down the road as well. But the fact that you have a continuous feel while the wheel's rotating is important. Okay, so we'll get out of this, and then the next thing we're going to talk about is boosting your system and stripping down to the bare minimums. You really want to take out as much processing lag and video lag that you can out of your competition. It's very frustrating to be in close quarters competition and then have a point where your processor is caching, or there's a slow cache, or you've got a application that's running in the background that's taking resources away from the race or from the iRacing platform. So this is a absolutely wonderful application from IOBit, and it's called Game Booster. It's up to 3.4 right now. It's free at majorgeeks.com, and pick this up. And essentially, there's some different modes, but the very basic mode is starting your boost mode. I've pre-configured to go ahead and close up everything in Windows that isn't essential to the web browser, isn't essential to the graphics control, isn't essential to the sound. So we go ahead and we start the boosting.